tires again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-284-1204. That's 800-284-1204. What do you have to lose? Call 800-284-1204. Again, 800-284-1204.
The details are chilling from body cam video of Pammy May, the mother of the 5-year-old boy Darnell Taylor, who was murdered in Columbus a couple of months ago. That is our top story today on a Friday edition of the Bruce Hooley Show. Thanks for joining us. Glad to have you along. We are back on our social media channels, my Twitter pages and Facebook pages, as we always do the first hour. Until yesterday, our internet went out, but we're back on those channels and LinkedIn. So we appreciate those of you who are joining us that way. We will talk an hour from now with Matt Mayer of Opportunity, Ohio. I've been remiss in getting Matt back into his regular weekly spot with us, and it just so happens that Matt has a story in the Federalist today about the lack of job growth, the lack of really conservative policies being enacted in the state of Ohio, despite a stronger Republican hold on power in the state of Ohio than they have in Texas or Florida. It's interesting how things come together. The other day when we were talking about Mike DeWine and the governor's State of the State address, I said we get to know today, we get actual visual proof that we have a governor, because we don't always see him, hear him. Weeks go by. We don't hear or see tangible evidence that we have a governor. And I had a chance to have breakfast with a really good friend today, and he was like, you're right. We hear from DeSantis a lot more. We hear from Greg Abbott a lot more. We hear from a lot of other governors more than we hear from Mike DeWine. Matt, full disclosure, explored a run for governor. I'm sad that he did not get the financial backing behind him that he would have needed to continue the race. Politics is an old boy network. It is a who you know, not what you know, and certainly not what you can do and how you can lead business. But Matt is exceedingly insightful on jobs and the economy and things like that in the state of Ohio. So I'm looking forward to getting Matt back on the show with us at 12:05. I find the juxtaposition of the death of OJ Simpson yesterday and the disclosures today in a lengthy story in the Dispatch by Bethany Bruner about Pammy May interesting. OJ Simpson unquestionably murdered his ex-wife, and either her boyfriend, someone she was interested in, or someone who was just at the wrong place at the wrong time, having returned a pair of glasses she left in a restaurant. And yet OJ Simpson at that time was a beloved figure in the United States of America, and he was someone that we found it hard to believe could be capable of doing this. And he remained an affable figure even after he was ridiculously found not guilty of those two murders. We didn't think he was capable. Likewise, we don't think a mother, someone who chooses to adopt a child, a foster child, someone who chooses to adopt them as their own, we do not believe that they would then be capable, and I don't know the circumstances of why Pammy May didn't have children of her own. Maybe she got married late. Maybe she couldn't have children of her own. Maybe her husband was unable to father children. I don't know. But Darnell Taylor was the only child of Pammy May and her husband, and he was not their biological child. And so it's hard to process how a mother could do this to her child. Although I say that and then I feel stupid, because there are like millions of women every year who have actual children growing inside them and who purposely decide to murder them. So I suppose I shouldn't be that concerned. But Bethany Bruner's story today in the Dispatch, and I'll say this, I am very critical, justifiably, of much of the staff at the Columbus Dispatch. But I have asked around to my friends in city government, and particularly in the Columbus Division of Police, is there anybody who works at the Columbus Dispatch who is not an avowed zealot, who will not ignore facts? if those facts are inconvenient to what the truth is. And the name that I keep getting thrown back to me as somebody who is a fair and honest broker is Bethany Bruner. And I certainly have evidence of that today in the way that she wrote this story. It's good reporting. I don't say that about the Dispatch very often. They filed a Freedom of Information Act request for the body cam video of officers in Brooklyn, Ohio. It's up by Cleveland, near the airport. And the Columbus police officer who drove up there once Pammy May had been found wandering the streets and taken to the hospital. And let me just say, Sam Szymanski, her attorney, you can plead insanity, and I guess that's the only route that you have, because she's flat out admitting she did this, that she murdered Darnell Taylor. If you're successful, Mr. Szymanski, in getting her exonerated because of a plea of insanity, it will only be because people will find it implausible to process that someone could say the things she says about how she murdered her child and believe that a person who says those things could possibly be in the right frame of mind, in a sane frame of mind. So Darnell Taylor, 5-year-old boy, was murdered, suffocated, stuffed in a sewer drain because he was eating snacks in his bed. That was the last straw. That is what Pammy May told officers. She is quite matter-of-fact about it. Her quote to Columbus homicide detective Delbert Chapman, according to Bethany Bruner's reporting, she said, "You should never take nobody's life. If you take somebody's life, your life should be taken away. Why should I have the right to live?" So within days, she had a full grasp on what she did and the indefensibility of doing it. She says that she was not a caring parent, that the husband was the caring parent, that he was the cuddler, the hugger, and that there was a great deal of forethought given to this crime. Premeditated does not begin to describe it. She said, "I do not want to remain silent because I want to tell the truth." She declined an attorney. She declined by signature and by spoken word the opportunity to stay silent while officers questioned her about this. She said she had not consumed any alcohol or any drugs prior to committing this murder, and that she saved a black 30-gallon trash compactor bag for this specific purpose, to put her son in it after she found him in bed eating snacks, a granola bar, some peanut butter crackers, and that she was, quote, triggered about the snacks and stuff. She said she went into his room on February the 13th at a few minutes past 11 o'clock, took off his pull-up diaper and put the trash bag over his entire body, starting with his head, before tying a double knot at his feet and leaving the room for 10 minutes. Darnell Taylor ran out of air and he died. She said, "In 10 minutes I knew he wasn't moving, and plus the bag was very heavy." She then moved him to a front hall closet, put him in a child's sleeping bag that had handles on it, and left him in the closet for more than 12 hours. She was asked if she strangled him. She said, "No, I suffocated him. I put him in the bag, I tied the bag shut, and he ran out of air and he died." Said her husband came home from work and believed the boy was asleep, and so he didn't ask her about Darnell. She then, after 12 hours of the boy's body being in the closet, moved it to the trunk of her Jeep, then to the front seating area, so the process of dumping it in the sewer would be easier. And then she went, again, to indicate the premeditation of this, put an old license plate over the vanity plate on her Jeep to make the vehicle look less recognizable, and drove to an area near her parents' home, which she termed the, quote, perfect place. And then she said an extremely chilling thing. It was a short transaction. It was a short transaction. She got the boy out of the Jeep, stuffed him in the sewer, heard a thump, drove back to her house. And when she got back into her home and told her husband she had something to tell him that was serious, that is when the phone call came in to detectives. That is when the Amber Alert was issued in the aftermath of that. And that is the story of this saga. How soon she will go to trial, we don't know. But again, Sam Szymanski says he's going to try to mitigate the penalty for this by pleading insanity. I don't know how in the world any jury can go for this. This is a super sad story. I don't pretend to know the hopelessness that she was feeling. You clearly cannot be what I consider to be sane to say these things and to say them in a chilling fashion and to plan this death, to not get help in advance, to not say, man, I just can't cope with this. We made a mistake here. She was a foster parent. Like, put the child in foster care. So sad. But we have so many sad stories in our city. Many of them emanate from crime, and many of those emanate from poverty.
It'll be windy this afternoon, some rain and drizzle. High today 54. Partly cloudy, windy night tonight, low 44. And then sunny, windy, and a bit warmer tomorrow, the high 63. For Sunday, breezy, warmer, clouds and sun, a gusty afternoon, thunderstorm possible. We could see some hail and damaging wind.
Do you want to take any call or just calls that are somewhat on topic?
On topic is fine.
Because we had a guy call, you wanted to talk about a specific representative.
I'm Steve Williams on 98.9
I was like, well, Bruce isn't really talking
No,
about
if I'm not talking about it, I don't want to, like, I decide what I talk about, not
Okay.
them. Yeah.
All right, I
Thanks.
just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff.
But when you see somebody sick and they give you this, oh, you don't know what I'm going through, then that's when you pull out that ace and you say, yes, I do know what you're going through.
It takes courage to ask for help. An anonymous self-assessment is available online. Take the first step to healing. Visit militarymentalhealth.org or call 877-877-3647.
Hi, Mike Gallagher here. Let me tell you about my friends at Innovative Roofing Systems. They're the finest, most trustworthy installers in Central Ohio. If you need a roof inspection, it's free. If you install a new roof or siding and mention Mike and this ad, you get a $1,000 discount on your residential project. Innovative Roofing Systems. Schedule your appointment today, 614.
Absolutely need to understand that.
Someone else. He's pushing those people away while still being afraid, I think, of the loudest voice in the room. Patrick.
I would say I think we absolutely need to understand that he is a device in a sense because we have to bring Hamas to justice. We have to make a priority of the 130 hostages, including Americans. We got to get them there. And so the debate really isn't about bringing them to justice. And by the way, Hamas is an offshoot of the Muslim Brotherhood. They are bad people. The problem is that on the other side, and this is why people are upset with the uncommitted vote, is the fact that there's been 32,000 innocent folks that are not part of Hamas that have been killed, 2/3 of which are women, and that is they are bad people. The problem is an offshoot of the Muslim Brotherhood. They are bad people. About bringing them to justice, and by the way, Hamas is an offshoot of the Muslim Brotherhood. They are bad people. The problem is that on the other side, and this is why people are upset with the uncommitted vote, is the fact that there's been 32,000 innocent folks that are not part of Hamas that have been killed, 2/3 of which are women, and that is the vice that you're talking about, and that's the burden of leadership. That's the burden of being the president of the United States.
Describing Hamas, and you served in the military, so it boggles my mind why you would describe them simply as bad people. They put babies in ovens. They tortured women. And those women
I can't say what I really want to say about them because we're on TV.
You can say whatever you want.
Well, I don't want to curse, but...
Well, we can say the truth
Yes.
without cuss words.
Right.
The women who were raped,
We have to make a priority of the 130 hostages, including Americans. We got to get them there. And so the debate really isn't about bringing them to justice. About
751. Discount code Charlie for 35% off. Here's great news. If you plan on attending Ohio Christian University as a new traditional student this fall semester at the Circleville campus, you can receive a $5,000 tuition scholarship for only $2,500. That's right. Get a $5,000 tuition scholarship for only $2,500. One scholarship per student, and all Ohio Christian University admission requirements must be met. Learn more at 989theanswer.com or call RMAT at 614-216-5049.
Planning for retirement is no small task.
If you don't know where to start, join Rodney Peters of Peters Wealth Group every Saturday at 10 and 2 for Retire Ready Ohio. Rodney shares helpful tips and strategies that just might change the course of your retirement. Listen every Saturday at 10 and 2 to Retire Ready Ohio with Rodney Peters of Peters Wealth Group. The firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services are offered through Peters Wealth Group, a state-registered investment advisor.
Hey, did you get an email from me? Did you get a text yesterday? Those of you who have expressed interest in the PatriotSwitch.com movement certainly did. Love to hear back from you. Love to hear about your interest. I'd love to tell you about the products that my family and I receive in the mail every month. It is awesome being a member of an organization that we know doesn't poison us with products that include nitrates, benzenes, other mysterious chemicals that I really have no clue why I would want to put in my body via toothpaste, mouthwash, or on my body via body lotion or deodorant. I certainly don't want my girls putting it on their face when they apply makeup. PatriotSwitch.com products are all plant-based. They're all healthy for you. You could drink them. Wouldn't taste good, but they wouldn't harm you. And the company that owns them, it's a family. It's a really awesome family. And they don't donate to woke causes. They donate to pro-police causes and pro-America causes and pro-life causes. I'm pro-PatriotSwitch.com. You can find out more. Leave information so I can reach out to you. PatriotSwitch.com/Bruce. PatriotSwitch.com/Bruce. Well, I woke up this morning to local news reports that, the murder rate in Columbus is way down. Well, let's not get too far out over our skis there because we still have the hot summer months ahead, and crime in the wintertime is usually much less than it is from, say, June through August or September. I'm happy the numbers are down, of course, but I'm continually troubled by the number of young people in our city, whether they're as young as 5-year-old Darnell Taylor, who was, it appears, murdered, given the confession of his foster mom, his real mom, after she fostered him, Pammy May, who says she suffocated him in a black trash bag and planned to do so and executed him. Or whether it is someone who is much older than Darnell Taylor, but still doesn't get the chance to live their life and recognize their potential. Delvon Wilkerson, 21 years old, was pronounced dead last night at OSU's Wexner Medical Center at about 6:15. He came in a car that had visible bullet holes, along with a victim who was also suffering from a gunshot wound, who's also 21 years old. The shooting happened about an hour earlier, not on campus, 1100 block of East 21st Avenue, so pretty close by. He becomes yet another young man killed in the city of Columbus. And yesterday, 18-year-old Rashawn Jackson died after being shot in January. His death is now being investigated as a homicide. When I see the crime numbers down in Columbus, when I see the crime numbers down nationwide, I am skeptical because I think that, A, crime numbers show up when you prosecute a crime. If we are not prosecuting crimes, and in the city of Columbus I've been told by numerous people who would know in the Columbus Division of Police, not just officers on the street, but people above that level, that the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office doesn't prosecute cases unless they're, number one, absolutely certain they can get a conviction, and number two, a lot of times they don't even really want to prosecute cases because it makes the stats look bad if they have too many black perpetrators, too many minority perpetrators. Oh, we just can't have that. We don't want to be accused of being systemically racist. Could we be accused of being systemically correct in our pursuit of crime, systemically committed to protecting our citizenry? So I'm skeptical when they tell me that the numbers are down. And I'm going to tell you right now, the crime numbers in this city, whether they're reflected upward or not, the crime in the city is most assuredly going to go up once Shayla Favor is the prosecuting attorney in Franklin County. Shayla Favor is a Democrat. You can't get elected in this county if you're not a Democrat. Shayla Favor was the most leftist of the three candidates who were candidates for prosecutor. And while she will face ostensibly competition for the job of prosecutor, I gotta say, and I understand why, but I gotta say that the Republican Party in Franklin County is inconsequential. It's just inconsequential. Last night, the Franklin County Republican Party voted to rescind John Rutan's endorsement for county prosecutor. He's going to run against Shayla Favor. Now, it doesn't mean he's not going to run against her. He is. But he's not endorsed by the Republican Party. He wasn't going to win anyway. He has less of a chance of winning now, which he had no chance before, so less than zero is what his chances are now. And I met John Rutan. I met him at the Lazy Chameleon the night that we had our event with Mike Gallagher. I did not know anything about John Rutan at that point in time. And I told him that I would welcome him on the show. And I still would welcome him on the show. But here's the thing. I'm not going to be like Rachel Maddow and NBC News and MSNBC News with Ronna McDaniel. I'm not going to not have someone on just because I think they are way off base in the things they say. But if John decides to come on the show, I will tell him that I think some of his views on things are really, really out there, okay? Like really out there. And that is what has gotten his endorsement revoked by the Franklin County Republican Party. They did a voice vote. He didn't like it. He wanted him to do a roll call vote. I don't blame him for that. I would want a roll call vote too. Own it. Put your name to it. If you're going to take away your endorsement of me, put your name to it. So I am on board with him there. But a lot of the stuff that John has said about things I just wonder about. And so he will be not endorsed by the Franklin County Republican Party. They got nervous after he emailed responses to the Dispatch, and the Dispatch does this with a lot of political candidates. They reached out to me when I was running for school board. I didn't respond to their request because I knew I wouldn't get a fair hearing from them. If you're a Republican, like why would you sign up to be disparaged? You know? If people want to know about me, here's a good idea. You can go to my Facebook pages when I'm running for office, and I'm not anymore. But when I was running for office, I told people, you want to know what I stand for? I put videos on my website. I tell you myself. I don't need it to be in a theoretical newspaper like the Columbus Dispatch. But what Rutan emailed to the Dispatch, the Franklin County Republican Party said would, quote, dishonor this party. They referred to them as strange statements, one of which was that Donald Trump is a Trojan horse for the Democratic Party. But then he reassured the crowd that he is voting for Donald Trump. Here is one of the things that John Rutan said to the email to the Dispatch. I am the only candidate in 100 years with the necessary experience. Why is there video evidence JFK was killed by his driver, but the CIA got away with it? Now, I've seen the documentary where it says a Secret Service agent in a car behind the president mistakenly shot JFK. Seems like a plausible theory to me. Seems hard for me to believe that they could have kept this quiet over the years, although JFK was not liked. I'm off topic. Sorry. But John Rutan has said some things that just have hurt his case to get elected. I get why other Republicans who would want the prosecutor's job didn't run for it because they thought, why run for a job I can't win? But if John Rutan had stuck to the facts of crime in Columbus and Shayla Favor's record and the things she said and her ties to Casey Goodson and his family, he'd have had a much better chance.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. Police in Memphis say an officer and an 18-year-old suspect were fatally shot in an exchange of gunfire. They injured two other officers along with a 17-year-old. It happened early this morning in Memphis. House lawmakers have advanced a bill to reauthorize a controversial section of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. A vote on that bill could come later today. 29-year-old Wisconsin man sentenced to 7.5 years in prison after pleading guilty to firebombing the office of a pro-life group.
Oh, sorry, I didn't switch to Chiron on the bottom. We were not in commercial. We were back on the air. I got too many things to hit and too little time to do it. Let me tell you a little bit more about the Patriot Switch thing. They're great products. We love them. They come from a company out west. You have the opportunity to do just what I do, which is recommend their products. And if you do, you'll get a small commission on what other people buy. So, yeah, multi-level marketing. They say it isn't. I think it kind of is. But let me just tell you something. I know a lot of friends who are making a lot of money on it, but here's the difference. You don't have to sell the product. You can just use the products. We use them, love them, and I'd highly recommend it. So if you're interested in that, patriotswitch.com/Bruce. And we're going to talk again at 12:05 today to Matt Mayer, Opportunity Ohio, about jobs in Ohio and why Ohio lags behind states where they have less Republican control than we do. So if you want to watch that, hear that interview, you can listen to it online at 989theanswer.com, or you can watch it and listen to it at the Bruce Hooley Show Facebook page or at the 989theanswer.com Facebook page. We'll be back from commercial here in a few moments, and we're going to talk about OJ. So, going to play some audio from Bob Costas, and going to play some unforgettable audio from the great Norm Macdonald.
Also on your smart speakers, TuneIn or iHeart.
This is Josh Pick with Aptus Wealth Management. The U.S. and the world have certainly changed a lot in the last few years. Facing money dangers that we haven't seen in a long time, maybe ever. Inflation continues to be a problem. Interest rate increases have made purchases like cars and homes seemingly impossible for some, and retirement looks like a scary proposition. For many, it appears to be a dire situation and has left them paralyzed and fearful. You are not helpless, and there are ways to gain back control. At Aptus, we help our clients navigate the labyrinth of retirement planning and educate them on how to make appropriate choices for their individual situation. Whether you have never met with a fiduciary investment advisor before, or you just want a second opinion, we're here to help. Call our office today at 614-917-1040 and learn how a cost-free, complimentary meeting may be the key to putting your money to work and your mind at ease. And don't forget to listen to the Aptus Blueprint Radio Show Friday evenings at 6, Saturday afternoons at noon, or call our office today at 614-917-1040.
It's easy and profitable to be kind to others when you enter the Kindness Challenge. Each day for 30 days, we'll post a new act of kindness that you can do for others. On April 15th, you could win $2,500, and a deserving organization will also receive $2,500 in your name. You can make a difference in others' lives when you enter the Kindness Challenge.
Get all the details and enter today at 989theanswer.com. That's 989theanswer.com.
He's the voice of a new generation, willing to fight for what's right in the greatest country ever conceived. He's Charlie Kirk, and you can hear him weekdays from 6 to 7, and again 11 to midnight on your station for news, opinion, and passion. 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Ooh, slept well last night. A little windy outside the old Hooley plantation, banging up against those west windows, but I was comfortable because I'm sleeping on Giza Dream bed sheets, sleeping on a MyPillow mattress topper, and resting my head on a MyPillow. Now, I don't mind. I don't hate you. I'm not jealous that you can get a MyPillow right now for $25, whereas I paid like 3 times that. But I paid back in the day when Mike Lindell was in all the big box stores before the 2020 presidential election, before they tried to cancel him for insisting on election integrity. And because of that, Mike Lindell's products are no longer in big box stores, so he doesn't have to pay to get them on the shelf. And guess what? He's passed the savings on to you. The $25 sale, MyPillow, towel sets, slippers, slides. Check it out at mypillow.com. Use my promo code Bruce, and guess what? If you see more than one thing there, if you see 2, then I'd look for 3, because if you spend $75 or more, you get free shipping at mypillow.com while using my promo code Bruce. So we got word yesterday, right before the show started, that OJ Simpson had died, 76 years old, supposedly died of prostate cancer. if you are, let's see, if you were 10 years old in 1994, you'd be 40 now. That's a scary thought. So if you were 10 years old in 1994, 94, 04, 14, yeah, you'd be 40 years old. So you probably have to be 40 to remember the whole OJ saga. I was going to put a Twitter poll up yesterday. Do you remember where you were when you heard about Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman being murdered, and that OJ Simpson, initially it was like, did OJ Simpson do this? And then it's like, no, he's in Chicago. Wait, he's got a bloody knuckle. He says he dropped a glass in a hotel room in Chicago. And then he became a suspect. And then I remember I was in the press room at Oakmont Country Club in Pennsylvania covering the U.S. Open. And I remember the L.A. police detective, I think it was David Gascon. Why would I remember that guy's name? Because this captivated America. And David Gascon said, at this time, we are actively looking for Mr. Simpson. And there was an audible, like, ooh, throughout the room. And then later that night, the slow speed chase, right? If you walk up to somebody who's 40 years old or more, say, slow speed chase, what am I talking about? They'll say OJ Simpson. You say, walk up to him, go, if it doesn't fit, you must, and ask him to fill in the blank, and they'll say, you must have quit. And Johnny Cochran, when OJ tried the gloves on in court, Simpson unquestionably committed these murders. His bloody footprints in his size were found at the scene. Drops of blood, lots of it, matching his DNA. A glove identical to the ones bought by his wife that he was pictured wearing on sidelines while doing NFL reporting. I mean, they had this guy dead to rights. He was not ready for the limo when it took him on the red eye to fly to Chicago that night. The bumps, Cato Kalin, all this stuff. You remember it all, right? And you definitely remember where you were on the day that he was found not guilty. I'm not going to say he was acquitted, because he wasn't acquitted. I never met him. I've interacted with a lot of sports celebrities over the years. Never met OJ Simpson. Bob Costas did, though. Bob Costas was a colleague at NBC. Bob Costas pretty unwavering in saying what the rest of us all know. Yeah, it absolutely added up to nothing else. Now, were there mistakes made in the trial? Yeah. Did the LA police sloppily handle the DNA, chain of custody, all those kinds of things? Yes. But of course, OJ became kind of the first DEI celebrity cause, right? Now it's everybody, this knucklehead kid in Chicago who fired 11 times at police officers, wouldn't roll his windows down. He's seeking to be the next George Floyd, who was the next Michael Brown, who was the next, on and on and on, right? Here's how CNN reported OJ's death yesterday. Listen closely to this reporter at the end of her talkback with Jake Tapper. She almost says out loud what all of us know. Oh, wait a second. One more time. Could what? One more time. Could get away with double murder. She almost said it. He definitely got away with it. Oh, yeah, there was a $33.5 million settlement to the Goldmans. That's one of the vivid things I remember from the trial, was how utterly devastated Fred Goldman, the father of Ron Goldman, was. I felt so much empathy for him losing his son. The Brown family too, losing Nicole, Denise Brown. Remember seeing her in court. Just a devastating time. Now the trial took a calendar year, and Simpson had, what a curious representative of the everyday black American he was supposed to be. He had a super team of lawyers and all that. And it wasn't long before comedian Norm Macdonald on Saturday Night Live began joking in his role as the host of Weekend Update about OJ Simpson. This is what got Norm Macdonald fired from Saturday Night Live, because Lorne Michaels and Dick Ebersol and other executives at NBC were big friends of OJ Simpson. But here's a sampling of what played out over the next year on NBC as the trial began. The charges were filed, the trial began, and then OJ Simpson was exonerated.
Donald Goldman in the courtroom during the trial. They're afraid the presence of the family members will just remind OJ of how much more killing he still has to do. Well, OJ Simpson's lawyers stopped feuding this week, finally. The Dream Team, F. Lee Bailey and Robert Shapiro, were able to put aside their differences and express their admiration for each other after OJ threatened to cut their heads off. It was revealed this week that defense lawyer Johnny Cochran once abused his first wife. In his defense, Cochran said, "Hey, at least I didn't kill her like some people I know." OJ's pal Al Cowlings now has a 1-900 number. For $2.99 a minute, Cowlings will tell callers that OJ is innocent. And for $3.99 a minute, he'll try to do it without laughing. Was O.J. Simpson high on speed the night of the murders? Absolutely not, said defense attorney Johnny Cochran today. And a simple test of any of O.J.'s blood found at the crime scene will prove it. F. Lee Bailey said this week that if the defense only knew what Ron Goldman's last words were, they might be able to find the real killer. You know, if you ask me, Goldman's last words were probably, "Hey, you're O.J. Simpson." Hertz Rental Car Company announced this week that it will buy 520,000 vehicles, increasing its worldwide fleet 24%. In addition, they will try to find a new spokesman who won't kill his ex-wife. This week at the O.J. Simpson trial, the infamous bloody glove was finally introduced into evidence, and O.J. didn't help his case any by blurting out, "There it is, I've been looking all over for that thing." Dismissed Simpson juror Jeanette Harris revealed in interviews this week that the jury is torn by dissension and is already divided into two camps: those who think he is guilty and those who are really, really stupid. Testimony during the final week provided some spellbinding moments. In a brilliant move during closing arguments, Simpson attorney Johnny Cochran put on the knit cap prosecutors say O.J. wore the night he committed the murders. Although O.J. may have hurt his case when he suddenly blurted out, hey, easy with that. That's my lucky stabbing hat." In his book, O.J. Simpson says that he would have taken a bullet or stood in front of a train for Nicole. Man, I'm going to tell you, that is some bad luck when the one guy who would have died for you kills you. That's probably...
And if you want to hear more of that, it's on YouTube. It's about 11 minutes long, all the jokes that he made about O.J. Simpson. You can't make those jokes anymore. We are in a culture where that would be deemed to be racist. No, it was just funny because it does what great comedy did, make fun of the absurd. If we had comedians doing their job now, they would never run out of material talking about not just Joe Biden, but everybody in politics. Trump's, of course, a different case.
This afternoon, some rain and drizzle, high today 54. Partly cloudy, windy night tonight, low 44. And then sunny, windy, and a bit warmer tomorrow, the high 63. For Sunday, breezy, warmer, clouds and sun, a gusty afternoon thunderstorm possible. We could see some hail and damaging wind, the high Sunday at 76. Sun and patchy clouds on Monday, the high 74. Cloudy with a thunderstorm Tuesday, the high 76. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
The Tilton family at Tilton's Automotive Service has been serving our community with state-of-the-art equipment for nearly 35 years. From oil changes to detailing to complete engine replacement, we're here to serve you to the highest levels and make you part of the family. All our repairs are backed by a 36-month, 36,000-mile warranty. Check out our mobile app for discounts and specials. Tilton's Automotive Service, in the shadow of Anheuser-Busch in Columbus and just off Creekside in Gahanna. For more info, check out tiltonsauto.com. Take it to Tilton's.
There are thousands of colleges that offer a quality education, but at Ohio Christian University, we also care about your financial future. Our Payback Promise is a loan repayment assistance program at no cost to you and is the safety net you need to take the next step confidently. Don't let your financial concerns about pursuing your dream to attend college hold you back. Visit ohiochristian.edu/payback to learn more. That's ohiochristian.edu/payback.
Hey friends, whether it's the melting winter snow or the spring rain that's coming, if you've got roof leaks, that water's coming in and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Well, actually there is, but you've got to take the steps. This is Bob France, and that step is to call Sky Roofing at 614-280-9308. Look, Sky Roofing is not some fly-by-night storm chaser company that comes in after a storm, claims they fixed your leaks, then disappears before it starts leaking again, leaving you to find someone else. No, Sky Roofing is here for the long haul. They've been serving Ohio homeowners for over 2 decades, and their pledge is to treat your roof like it was one of their own. So if your roof is in disrepair, maybe you've got some gaps in the shingles, or maybe your roof has served its time well for you, but you just need a new one, the damage that's going to be caused by all of those leaks is going to be worse than the cost of getting it done right. Do yourself a favor, get it done right. Call Sky Roofing, 614-280-9308. Call today, get a great quote, learn more at skyroofinginc.com. Sky Roofing is roofing done right. Are you ready for an adventure of a lifetime? Journey with me, Mike Gallagher, and Dr. Sebastian Gorka on the Patriots Alaska cruise this summer. It's going to be an incredible opportunity to engage with other like-minded patriots on an epic 7-day cruise over 4th of July. Witness the untouched wilderness of Alaska while discussing America's future. Join Dr. Gorka and me, Mike Gallagher, from June 29th through July the 6th. Call 855-565-5519 or reserve online at patriotsalaskacruise.com.
War has played a key role in the history of the United States, from the nation's founding right down to the present. Wars made the United States independent, kept it together, increased its size, and established it as a global superpower. Hi, I'm James Early, host of the Key Battles of American History podcast. In each episode, I discuss American history through the lens of the most important battles in the American wars. To start listening now, go to ParthenonPodcast.com or search Key Battles of American History on your favorite podcasting platform.
Feel like you're trying to push a boulder uphill wearing skates? If you run or manage a local business today, you're challenged like never before. We get it, and we want to help. We're Salem Surround. We're a full-service marketing agency that'll help you increase your customer base by designing incredibly effective plans to reach your consumers day, night, and everywhere they might be.
If you're a local business and want to see what Salem Surround can do for you, Google Salem Surround Columbus. Remember to Google Salem Surround Columbus today.
Riverbend Ranch Steaks, the place to go when you want great steak. Steak you find in the grocery store may look like a great steak, but you know what? It's probably not USDA Choice or Prime. Those are the top 2 steaks, the top 2 judgments of quality of beef that you'll get from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and every single cut from Riverbend Ranch is rated USDA Choice or Prime. The reason why is because they breed their Black Angus beef for exact marbling specifications. They raise them on ranch land, grass, and then finish them for market with crops grown on that same ranch. The cattle drink nothing but mountain stream water, and they allow the calves to mature with their moms by their side. If they're ever sick, they're taken out of the herd. And the best part, which I know you're curious about, how much does it cost? Less than Moink, less than Butcher Box, less than Omaha Steaks. You don't get any caramel apple tartlets with Riverbend Ranch Steaks. You just get steak, and the very best there is. So go to riverbendranchsteaks.com/Bruce Hooley, riverbendranchsteaks.com/Bruce Hooley. Well, you have probably noticed, like I did last night, that gas prices are creeping up. Actually, not creeping. moving. They're more than creeping. You can actually see them. You go by a gas station, you go by it a day later, oh, look, it's higher. AAA reports the average price for a gallon of regular grade gas nationally is $3.63. I think I paid $3.50 something last night. A month ago, it was $3.39. That's because crude oil prices have risen steadily over the last month from $77 a barrel to $85 a barrel. That's why the Biden administration says now, we're not really going to try to refill the strategic petroleum reserves because we can't afford it. Can't afford it. Ron Klain, the former chief of staff at the White House, wants Joe Biden to start, I guess, lying more about the economy, even though Biden is already lying about inflation coming down. Well, it's not really lying. It's just lying creatively with statistics. Inflation is coming down. It's coming down from 40-year highs, which were caused by Joe Biden's economic policies. But Klain tells Politico that Biden is wasting his time going to places like Baltimore and other places to talk about infrastructure and all the things that the Biden administration is getting done with infrastructure. Here's the quote from Klain. I wish I could have audio, but no. He said, I think the president is out there too much talking about bridges. He does 2 or 3 events a week where he's cutting a ribbon on a bridge. Here's a bridge. I would say, hey, if you go into the grocery store, you go to the grocery store and you know eggs and milk are more expensive. The fact that there's a bleeping bridge is not interesting. Klain goes on, he's not a congressman. He's not running for Congress. I think it's kind of a fool's errand. I think people don't cover this because, look, it's a bleeping bridge. A bridge. How interesting is a bridge? It's a little interesting, Klain says, but it's not a lot interesting. No, it's not. Well, there's nothing about this president that is interesting, unless you're captivated by his lies every single day, which, I try to point out. And he has people who lie for him. Joe Biden would not be the president of the United States if not for James Clyburn, congressman from South Carolina, who saved Joe Biden's sorry butt in the 2020 Democratic primaries. Inconvenient for Clyburn that he was repeating the lies that the Biden administration touts every day about the progress in the American economy the other day when the inflation numbers came out. So here's Clyburn on MSNBC with Morning Joe, Morning Mika, touting the inflation numbers, and then whoops, hey, the inflation numbers are in. Let's go to the videotape. Pay no attention. No, they're not.
How they affect their everyday lives and get them to see in his policies that which is real, not what they may hear on social media. One of the focus group people talked about social media and the misrepresentation.
Oh, disinformation.
Are out there, and that's the battle that we have to fight, and we've got to do a better job of fighting it more effectively.
Now they're in Morning Mika's ear right here, saying, "Hey, we have the latest inflation numbers. We can share them on air." Well, sure it is.
But there's also a lack of validation that these voters feel. Ross Sorkin right now, because we just got breaking news. The consumer price index increased at a faster than expected pace last.
Shocking. That was a lie. Yep.
So it's going to be harder for the administration to make the argument around this inflation trend line.
It'll be harder for the administration to lie, is essentially what he's saying. What about those employment numbers? What about those unemployment numbers? I mean, we're at full employment, right? We're 3.8%. Interesting story out today. Analysis by the Wall Street Journal and Moody's Business. Best cities in America to find work. Salt Lake City, number 1. Jacksonville, Orlando, Tampa, Nashville, Oklahoma City, Austin, Miami, Dallas. Notice a trend? 7 of the 10 are from Florida and Texas, where, like Tennessee, Nashville's on the list, they have no state income tax. We're going to talk to Matt Mayer, Opportunity Ohio, top of the hour. Matt's a big proponent of ending income tax in the state of Ohio, but our Republican-controlled state is addicted to state income tax to fund its many stupid initiatives. Now, the critics, the Biden critics, look at the cities where the jobs are plentiful and say, well, it's just because people move there remotely. Okay, well then, where are California cities on this list? Because it's warm there. And the best weather in the country, California, right? California does not have a single city in the top 25. Not a single city. 9 of the top 10 cities for best jobs are red states. They surveyed 380 cities. 8 of the bottom 10 are located in blue states. But what about the unemployment number, Bruce? Last month's job number just came out, 330,000. Are those real jobs? Jobs where I work one job, provides for my family? No. What the analysis shows is that since Joe Biden took office, 920,000 jobs that have been created that he touts all the time, not pandemic restored jobs, but new jobs, 920,000 of them are part-time jobs. Full-time jobs, how many full-time jobs, Bruce? Oh, 250,000 less than there were when Joe Biden took office. 250,000 less. I will have audio from Cabot Phillips of the Daily Wire explaining this more. Business openings are down. Business closures are up. The economy is not resonating with people because of one simple reason. The economy is not working for people. People are not working. Hence, the economy is not working for them. Your costs at the grocery store going up. CBS Evening News did a piece on it the day after the inflation numbers came out. Here's $100 worth of groceries a year ago. Here's $100 worth of groceries now. I've told you guys before, go to the website Biden-Mart.com. Biden-M-A-R-T, like Kmart, only Biden-Mart.com. And there's about 30 items on there. Punch in. Oh, I think I'll buy some eggs. I think I'll buy some carrots, a pineapple, a bag of apples, some eggs, some milk, some sugar. What would it have cost under Trump? What does it cost now? You can see it.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Everyone knows the old saying, nothing lasts forever. Well, whoever said that obviously never bought a timeshare. Not only do your maintenance fees and assessment fees go on forever, they go up forever. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Over 10 years ago, I was a timeshare salesman.
So that'll do it for today. Hope you have a great weekend. I'm looking forward to mine. Hopefully it stops raining. If you live in Central Ohio and you need new flooring, I work at Soft Step Carpet and Flooring in Plain City. We do a great job. We'll do a great job for you. Love to have the opportunity to help you out with that. Don't call the store. Email me, brucehooley@gmail.com. brucehooley@gmail.com. And I'll fix you up. I'll hook you up. We'll get your space measured and we'll get you the very best product that fits what you're looking for. Love to have you reach out and sign up for patriotswitch.com products or Riverbend Ranch Steaks. With that, have a great rest of your Friday. We'll see you on Monday.